What do we do in our fund? Fundsmith Equity Fund is our only equity fund. We don't have a variety of funds doing large companies and small companies, international companies and domestic companies, emerging markets, long only and long short. We have one fund. This is not a fund management company that's been designed by a marketing director so that there's a fund for every occasion. There is only one fund. It's the Fundsmith Equity Fund, not a Fundsmith Equity Fund. We only own 20 to 30 stocks. I can't imagine we would ever get to 30. We've actually got 23 today, which we think is the optimum number. We charge a 1% flat management fee. We don't charge any upfront fees, we don't charge any redemption fees, we don't charge any performance fees. 1% flat. I pay the same fee. I pay 1% flat. We eat our own cooking. No performance fees. How do we align our interests with yours? Quite simple. I've got more than £25 million now invested in that fund. I'm aligned. And it's a very, very low turnover that we're endeavouring to get. At the moment, I think our turnover in the first 6 months of the fund is about 0.18%. What are we looking to do with the fund? This bit sounds ridiculously simple. We try to invest in good companies. I say it's ridiculously simple because I've spent about 25 years working as a broker, and I think I've talked to almost every fund manager that's out there as a broker over that time. And it may surprise you to know that in my experience, the vast majority of them are not even attempting to invest in good companies. They'll buy any old rubbish, actually. They'll buy bad companies because they think they'll get better, because they think the management will change, or they think there'll be a takeover, or they think that it's at the bottom of the cycle and the cycle will turn up in a minute, or somebody just tells them a funny story, or buys them lunch, or tells them there's going to be a share price ramp. The problem with that is you can make money buying bad companies because you can get those things right sometimes. Management does change, there are takeovers. Actually, very few people are good at it, in my experience, very few. But the problem with owning bad companies is every day that you own a bad company, it makes a return below its cost of capital, which is the way I judge good companies. Just the same as you would judge in your personal circumstances. If you borrow money at a rate, unless you can invest it at a higher rate, you will reduce your net worth. So with companies, they have a cost at which they take in money. Unless they're earning more than that, every single day they're destroying some of their intrinsic value. Whilst you hold those bad companies, they are destroying value for you. So the good thing about good companies, which we look for, is they make high returns on capital in cash. I'm not interested in their profits, I'm interested in their cash flow. You can't pay the dividend, you can't pay the rent with anything other than cash. So that's what I'm looking for, is high returns on capital in cash in the companies that we look for. I'm also looking for something else, not just a high return, but the ability of the company to grow and reinvest that wonderful return each year to get a compounding effect. So if they start with 100 and they earn 25, the next year I want them to be able to invest 125 and get a 25% return, ideally on 125, and so on, so that you get the compounding effect which real long-term investors seek.